Is this the biggest upheaval we've ever seen in e-commerce to date? Find out more on today's Bringing Business to Retail podcast. Welcome to the Bringing Business to Retail podcast, where I, Selena Knight, share strategies, interview retail revolutionaries, and delve into the minds of e-commerce experts to help you grow a profitable, independent retail or e-commerce business. If you're stuck in a rut, or if you feel like business is way harder than it should be, or you've overachieved all of the things that you've set out to and are wondering what to do next, or how do I even make this better? I know that you're going to love today's episode. If you're stuck in a rut, feel like business is way harder than it should be, or you've achieved all of the things that you set out to and are wondering what next, or how do I even make this better, then I know that you're going to love today's episode. Hey there, thanks so much for joining me on today's episode of the Bringing Business to Retail podcast. Well, last week, Facebook dropped a bombshell on us. If you haven't already heard, Facebook is releasing a brand new offering called Facebook Shops. And this is nothing like we've ever seen it before. Now, strangely enough, it doesn't seem like many people are getting very excited about this. Sure, it was reported in the media, but realistically, I think that this is probably the biggest thing we have seen in e-commerce, probably ever. So I'm really surprised that people aren't talking about this more because they really should be. The new Facebook Shops offering is a complete game changer for brands of any size. Doesn't matter if you are just starting out or if you're a multinational. What the Facebook team are rolling out over the next few months across all of their platforms, so we're talking Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger, is going to give brands the opportunity to reach more customers, get more sales, have higher conversions, and do it all for free. What's the catch? Well, let's jump into today's episode and find out all about it. I recorded this the day after Facebook made the announcement. So when I say yesterday, I actually mean last week, but this is still brand new, hot off the press information that I think you should know about. Oh, and just before we jump in, I have managed to get a little bit more information that I don't mention on this episode. The first one was a question around downloadable products and virtual products and services. And the product lead for Instagram has said that whilst this Facebook Shops rollout is not going to include those products, they are working on a suite of new tools to do exactly that. So if you have services in addition to the products that you sell, stay tuned because Facebook is going to be adding those products into the mix as well. And the other one, which I did briefly touch on in this episode, was about payment. Now, that's been made a little bit more clear with subsequent press releases that at the moment, to use this feature, which I have to admit, nobody I know actually has access to it yet, but to use this feature, you will need to have an existing website for customers to complete payments or have checkouts enabled, but that's actually in beta in a lot of places. So the plan, once this is all finished, is that customers will be able to check out on the Facebook or Instagram platform. At the moment, when you get access to this, you will need to have a website for customers to complete the payment. But honestly, this is something I am so excited about. I can see so many opportunities for brands and stores to use this to get access to customers that they didn't even know that they could access before, and being able to customize the customer journey just means that you've got such a better chance of catching, connecting, and converting those customers. So let's jump in and hear all about how the new Facebook Shops is going to transform your retail or e-commerce business. Yesterday, Mark Zuckerberg announced a new functionality aimed specifically at e-commerce, and it's one that I believe is going to be a complete upheaval in the e-commerce industry. I'm Selena Knight, the retail strategist specializing in helping brands to scale. And today I want to chat to you about how Facebook's latest offering is going to change e-commerce as we know it. Now, I've talked a lot over the past couple of months about how things are going to change as a result of the COVID crisis. Customers are going to expect more when it comes to shopping online, and the demand for a seamless omni-channel experience is going to escalate. Now, interestingly, Mark Zuckerberg said that there are more than 160 million small businesses around the world that use the Facebook suite of apps, but the majority of those don't spend any money to do so. Now, conversely, as we know, Facebook makes its money from ads, and Mark Zuckerberg says that most of the ad spend comes from small business. So it is clearly in their best interest to leverage the resources that they have available for those businesses that are most likely to generate even more revenue for them. So Mark Zuckerberg admitted that their business model is all focused on ads. So rather than charging for this new feature that he knows is going to be valuable for businesses, and once they start incorporating it, they're going to bid more for ads, which eventually makes everybody more money. Facebook is investing in products that will generate more money for them and more money for retailers. So it's pretty smart. So what exactly is this new product that Facebook is rolling out? Well, it's called Facebook Shops. And if you're anything like me, your first thought would have been, but I already have a Facebook shop, so what's the big deal? And honestly, I think they probably could have called it something better to differentiate it from what they already have, but hey, it's not my business, right? So what exactly is Facebook Shops, and why is it a game changer for retail and e-commerce brands, regardless of whether you're just starting out or you have a thriving business? In response to the COVID crisis, Facebook identified that around 31% of small businesses, now I actually detest using the word small business, we banned it in our company, but I'm paraphrasing what Mark had to say. So even though it grates with me, bear with me on this. In response to the COVID crisis, Facebook identified that around 31% of small businesses actually stopped operating completely. And to stay afloat, businesses had to turn to e-commerce. In fact, I just sent an email out about this yesterday after hearing quite a few businesses do this exact scenario, where because of COVID, they've actually realized that e-commerce can be their primary source of revenue. Now, interestingly, Facebook is probably one of the only organizations in the world that knows who these small business owners are and actually has a distribution channel that can reach them. Now, Facebook's core business purpose is social integration. So when you combine the insights that Facebook has on businesses and individuals, along with the spread and their reach, it does make sense that creating a solution that builds on that social side. And commerce is the next obvious step for them, right? So Facebook Shops is the biggest leap that they've made to enable commerce across their whole family of apps. And that's the key differentiator, their whole suite of apps. For those that aren't already online, they'll be easily able to start a shop that covers all of those apps and sell directly. So if you visit a shop, you're going to be able to see a small business's story, you're going to be able to see their feature products, and you're going to be able to check out and buy their items right there. Now, if you've already put a product catalog on Facebook or Instagram, Facebook is going to set up a store for you automatically without you having to do anything at all. And if you use Shopify or WooCommerce or Magento or BigCommerce, then with just a small number of clicks, you're going to be able to import your whole inventory and create a shop that covers all of the platforms. So you're probably thinking, well, how does this help me already if I already have an e-commerce site that's connected to a Facebook shop? Well, for those that are already utilizing Facebook Shops and promoting customers buying through that channel, you know that this is already an extra source of revenue for you. For maximum profitability, you need to be across as many channels as possible. Now, up until now, if you saw a product on Instagram or Facebook, you would get forwarded to a mobile version of an e-commerce site, which may or may not have all of your details stored, which means that there's a lot of faffing about to get from that first interaction on your phone right through to cart and to post-purchase. But with Facebook Shops, that's going to change completely. Once you set the shop up, that same shop is going to be available on your Facebook page and your Instagram profile. And Facebook is also building integrations for Messenger and WhatsApp, which means that once your shop is set up, it's available across all of the suite of apps. Customers are going to be able to put something in their cart on Instagram, and when this is fully rolled out, check out on Facebook. And Facebook shops are native inside of the platform, so they are super fast. When you click on a product that you've discovered, it's going to be able to take you to a product page that loads almost instantly, and that will have your credit card and information all stored. If you've ever bought anything before with one of the Facebook services, then all of that information is going to be inside of the checkout. If you see something that you're interested in while viewing a business's Instagram story, you're going to be able to swipe up and buy it if the business has enabled checkout. Or you're able to go into a shop from there and explore what else the business has to offer. Also, if you message a business in WhatsApp, you're going to access their catalog and buy the things the same way that you would if you were browsing on Instagram. It is one simple and consistent experience across the whole family of apps, which of course is going to lead to higher conversion. This is all sounding great, right? But actually it goes further than that. Mark Zuckerberg also brought up live selling. Up until now, if you wanted to simplify live selling, you had to use an app like Comments Sold. The drawback of which is that at the moment it only operates in US dollars. So Mark said more than 800 million people engage in live video daily across Facebook and Instagram. And a lot of that includes product tutorials and product launches. So they're going to make it as easy as possible to shop online in real time. Now, I see this particularly beneficial for brands to utilize the Facebook suite of apps when implementing live product launches. It's in Facebook's best interest to get as many businesses using Facebook shops as possible. As Zuckerberg says, more shops means more ad revenue for them. So, in order to expedite the uptake, Facebook will be pushing this in as many ways and as many places as possible. They're also building a bunch of features across the apps to help you discover interesting things from businesses that you might want to buy. The biggest example here is they're building a dedicated shopping tab on Instagram that is going to be just one tap away from home. Now they're still putting the finishing touches on this, but in the meantime, they're also building a shopping destination inside of Explore on Facebook, where you're going to be able to find and buy products from businesses near you. Now right now you might be thinking, well, that sounds great, but should I really bother? It's all good and well to have a seamless customer experience, but my brand is different. And I want that same customer experience that I've spent a lot of time and money building across my retail stores or my e-commerce site to actually carry through. Well, Zuckerberg says Facebook shops are actually going to allow a lot of customization. In fact, Mark specifically referenced a brand's need to share their story and their value and their ethos as playing a critical role in the development process. Brands are going to be able to customize how their Facebook shop appears and create collections of products that they're the proudest of. Brands will also be able to build in loyalty programs that people can access across the whole suite of apps. But here's the kicker. Are you ready for it? Because this is something you can't necessarily do on your e-commerce platform without spending a lot of time segmenting and customizing the user experience. Facebook Shops is going to utilize its AI to allow you to create a personalized shopping experience. I'm a little bit excited about that. For example, if you have a clothing store and I visit your Facebook shop, you can personalize it to just show me women's wear. Now, as I said, this kind of segmenting will not only lead to higher conversions, but ultimately a customer experience well beyond what we've seen from many stores before. Oh, and speaking of AI, just another fun fact, Facebook has built AI systems to automatically identify and tag products and photos. So ideally, people are going to link to them from your main feed and from your Facebook and your Instagram without a business eventually even having to tag anything. Now, I mentioned earlier that I've been pondering over how e-commerce will change due to COVID. And one of the technologies that I think will advance really quickly from here on in is AR and VR. And clearly I'm not the only person to think that, because that's going to be integrated into Facebook shops as well. Mark Zuckerberg said, so we're building out our augmented reality technology. So if you're selling beauty products or home decor, for example, in some cases, you're going to be able to get a preview of what those products are going to look like on you or in your home. So if it's something like makeup or lipstick or sunglasses, you're going to be able to virtually try them on. Game changer, right? By this stage in the announcement, I was thinking that Mark Zuckerberg must have made a lot of enemies in the e-commerce world. Because on the surface, he's taken all of the big platform specialities and rolled them into one free platform. I mean, why the heck would you need an e-commerce site, right? So I was surprised at this point when he brought on Tobi Lütke of Shopify to talk about how they've been working on building this together. And it sounds like BigCommerce, WooCommerce, Channel Advisor, and a bunch of other people have been partnering to develop this product. Essentially, Zuckerberg said that their earlier efforts to help with commerce required small businesses to use all of their tools and create a full end-to-end experience before they even got started. And that made it really hard to serve small businesses at scale. The reality here is that businesses need more than just an interface. So whilst you could run your business with just a Facebook shop, as a business scales, they need access to services such as inventory management, multi-channel presence, shipping, returns, and logistics, all the things. So rather than Facebook trying to take all of that on and create it, this is where they have seen themselves as part of the e-commerce ecosystem. As you scale, you're going to need those robust e-commerce platforms like Shopify, BigCommerce, Magento, WooCommerce. Now, who knows what that customer funnel is going to look like? But we can imagine that those partners are going to be able to leverage the brands that jump into e-commerce utilizing Facebook Shop and then market to them as they grow, right? One of the things that Zuckerberg didn't really talk about was how customers are going to pay. So I did a little bit of digging, and according to the press release, people can find Facebook shops on a business's Facebook page or Instagram profile and discover them through stories or ads. But from there, they can browse the full collection, they can save products and place an order, either on the business's website or without leaving the app if the business has enabled checkouts in the US. Now, I haven't been able to enable Facebook shops on my e-commerce page yet. Facebook has said that the rollout, which started on May 19, will happen over the next few months. But I would suspect that if you've already set up a Facebook shop and you have a payment integration, that you're probably going to be able to utilize that. So should you set up a Facebook shop? Well, in my opinion, why wouldn't you? Being able to have a free, cross-platform, seamless experience in and of itself is a reason to jump into this sooner rather than later. And in addition, Facebook has made it clear that it is going to be marketing the heck out of its new shops, which means that brands that jump in early are going to have a bigger share of that market as consumers are flooded with e-commerce opportunities. And whilst Mark Zuckerberg has said that there are several parts of the process that still need to be fine-tuned, who doesn't want more exposure and more customers and more sales for free? So there you have it. That is my wrap-up of the new Facebook shops and how it is going to change the face of e-commerce. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please comment below. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Bringing Business to Retail podcast. You can find all of the show notes over at selinaknight.com. If you found something that you heard today particularly useful, I'd love it if you could leave me a review on iTunes or Stitcher. And of course, feel free to share this episode with someone that you think could benefit by listening to it. Want more retail biz strategies? You can watch the Bringing Business to Retail TV show, where each week I'll answer a question or provide you with a simple, actionable retail biz strategy that you can implement in your business right away. If you have a question or a guest, I'd love to hear from you. Drop my team an email at podcast@selinaknight.com, and I'll see you on the next episode. Have a great week.